million-dollar mistake or brilliant strategy? Today we're diving into the drama that's got everyone talking. Satou Sabally's shocking choice of Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark. In a viral clip that's setting social media on fire, the WNBA star might have just made a decision she'll regret. But here's the real question. Was this just a simple game choice, or did Sabally just close the door on potentially the biggest opportunity of her career? Stick around because what happened next will leave you speechless. Let's break down what actually happened because this moment is bigger than just a simple choice between two players. During what seemed like an innocent quickfire choice game, Satou Sabally was put on the spot. The game was simple, pick between different WNBA stars. She breezed through most choices. But then came the big one, Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. Without hesitation, Sabally picked Angel Reese. Now, in any other year, this might have just been another fun social media moment. But 2024 isn't just any year in women's basketball. We're witnessing what many are calling the biggest shift in WNBA history, and it all centers around one player, Caitlin Clark. It's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that. So although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings, obviously, seeing all the Caitlin jerseys in our home. But it's an amazing time for women's basketball, and it's just great how far we've come. It's just fun. Yeah, it's good. For those who might have been living under a rock, let me catch you up to speed. Caitlin Clark just shattered every college basketball record imaginable. We're talking about a player who's not just changing the game, she's revolutionizing it. Her decision to declare for the WNBA draft sent shockwaves through the sports world, and the Indiana Fever won the lottery of a lifetime by getting the first pick. But can you talk about white privilege? Yes, you can. You can. But do you have to be the spokesperson for it? I don't think so. But here's where things get really interesting. The Indiana Fever isn't just any team looking to rebuild. They've got what every WNBA team dreams of, a perfect storm of opportunity. They've got the most cap space in the league, a young superstar in Aaliyah Boston, and now they're adding Caitlin Clark to the mix. They're not just building a team, they're creating what could be a dynasty. Let's talk numbers. For a second, because this is where Sabally's choice gets even more complicated. The Fever isn't playing around with their checkbook. They've got nearly $1.5 million in cap space to work with, and they're ready to spend big. We're talking about the potential to create one of the most loaded rosters in WNBA history. And guess who's been on their radar? Satou Sabally. The same Satou Sabally who just picked Angel Reese over their future franchise player. The timing couldn't be more crucial because Sabally isn't just any free agent. She's coming off her best season ever. We're talking about a player who averaged 18.6 points per game, grabbed 8.1 rebounds, and made her first All-WNBA team. She's exactly the kind of player the Fever needs alongside Clark. So, just also pushing the public narrative around, hey, like, there's other players in the league, and there's other players that are better in the league. Like, she's not coming in and destroying everyone. Like, Candace Parker got the MVP her rookie season, and she's far from that right now from what it looks like. So just, pushing that narrative too, and actually knowing what's going on. But let's dig deeper into why this choice is sending shockwaves through the WNBA community. First, there's the business angle. Playing with Caitlin Clark isn't just about basketball, it's about exposure. Clark's final college game drew 18.9 million viewers. That's not just a record for women's basketball, that's a number that makes NBA executives jealous. Think about what that means for any player joining the Fever next season. We're talking about primetime games, national TV exposure, packed arenas, and the kind of marketing opportunities that WNBA players rarely see. Just ask Aaliyah Boston. Her social media following doubled after just one season with the Fever. And that was before Clark was even in the picture. And you know what annoys me? Actually, yeah. What annoys me is when Caitlin only dropped 3 points against New York. The whole conversation was around that and not around a team with great players. Yeah, like, we won against Indy and the only narrative is, what did she do? Even if we look at the Indy team, like Aaliyah Boston is the #1 pick and you dare not to say her name once, that's not okay. The ripple effects of Sabally's choice are already being felt. WNBA insiders are buzzing about how this might affect free agency negotiations. Some sources close to the Fever's front office suggest that they were planning to make Sabally one of their primary targets. The idea of a lineup featuring Clark, Boston, and Sabally had fans dreaming of championship parades in Indianapolis, but here's where the story takes another turn. Sabally hasn't just been any random player in free agency. She's been actively engaging with Fever fans on social media all offseason. She's been liking posts about potentially joining the team, dropping hints in interviews, and even praising the Fever's young core. It seemed like she was laying the groundwork for a potential move to Indiana. And then this video drops. The timing couldn't be worse. In today's social media age, these kinds of moments stick. Fans remember, front offices notice. What might have seemed like a casual choice in a fun game suddenly carries the weight of potential career implications. Let's also talk about the basketball fit, because that's what makes this situation even more fascinating. Sabally's game would have been perfect alongside Clark. While Clark is known for her logo, threes and flashy passes, Sabally brings something different to the table. She's a versatile forward who can stretch the floor, create her own shot, and defend multiple positions. It's exactly what the Fever needs to complement Clark's playing style. The numbers back this up too. Last season, Sabally shot 36% from three-point range while also being one of the league's best at getting to the free throw line. Imagine pairing that with Clark's ability to draw defensive attention and find open teammates. It could have been basketball poetry in motion. But now? Well, that's where things get complicated. The Fever's front office has to be wondering about team chemistry. When you're building around a generational talent like Clark, you need players who are all in. You need believers. And while one social media moment doesn't define a player, it does raise questions. The irony in all of this is that Sabally's choice of Angel Reese isn't surprising from a basketball perspective. Reese is an incredible talent in her own right. She's a dominant force in the paint, a walking double-double, and brings an intensity to the game that's unmatched. But this isn't just about basketball ability. It's about timing, opportunity, and the business of basketball. Looking at the bigger picture, this moment perfectly encapsulates the changing landscape of women's basketball. We're entering an era where social media moments matter just as much as on-court performance, where business decisions can be influenced by split-second choices. In online games, where the line between casual content and career implications is increasingly blurry. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the silence from both camps. Neither Sabally nor the Fever have commented on the viral moment, and if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. But in today's media landscape, sometimes silence speaks louder than words. The basketball world is watching, waiting to see how this all plays out when free agency officially begins. The aftermath of Sabally's choice hit the internet like a wildfire in a dry forest. Within hours, the clip had millions of views across all social media platforms. But this wasn't just your regular viral moment. This was a perfect storm that showed exactly how much women's basketball has changed in the past year. Let's break down the immediate reaction because it tells us everything about what's at stake. Here. First, the fans. Indiana Fever supporters, who had been dreaming about a potential super team, went from excited to disappointed in seconds. The comment sections across social media turned into a battlefield of opinions. Did she just fumble the bag? Became the trending question of the day. But here's where things get really interesting. It's not just fans who are talking. Industry insiders and WNBA veterans are weighing in too. Former players like Candace Parker and Sue Bird have discussed how the landscape of women's basketball is shifting. The days of players only caring about their game on the court are over. In today's WNBA, your brand is just as important as your jump shot. Speaking of brand value, let's talk numbers. Because they're staggering. Since declaring for the WNBA draft, Caitlin Clark's impact on the business side of basketball has been unprecedented. We're seeing television networks fighting for broadcast rights to Fever games. Season ticket sales in Indiana have skyrocketed. The team's social media following has grown by over 300% in just a few months. To put this in perspective, let's look at what happened to players who joined the Fever last season. Aaliyah, Boston, their rookie sensation, saw her Instagram following jump from 200,000 to over 500,000. In one season, her endorsement deals tripled, and that was before the Clark effect. Imagine what those numbers could look like next season with Clark in the lineup. Now, let's talk about the money, because this is where Sabally's choice gets even more complicated. The Fever aren't just offering playing time, they're offering what could be the biggest payday in WNBA history. With their salary cap space and the potential for local marketing deals, we're talking about a package that could change a player's life. But the aftermath goes beyond just financial implications. The WNBA is entering a new era of player empowerment, where stars have more control over their careers than ever before. Sabally's choice, whether intentional or not, has become a symbol of this shift. Some players are embracing the Clark phenomenon, while others seem to be drawing lines in the sand. The timing of this couldn't be more crucial for Sabally personally. She's coming off her best season as a pro, making her first All-WNBA team and establishing herself as one of the league's premier forwards. Her free agency was supposed to be a victory lap, a chance to cash in on years of hard work. Instead, she's become the center of a debate about loyalty, opportunity, and the future of women's basketball. Let's dive into what this means for her current team, the Dallas Wings. They've been remarkably quiet since the video went viral, but sources close to the team suggest they're monitoring the situation closely. The Wings have the right to match any offer Sabally receives in free agency, but the question now becomes, how will this impact her market value? The ripple effects are being felt across the league. Other free agents are watching the situation closely, knowing that their decisions this off-season could have similar implications. We're seeing players become more conscious of their social media presence, more careful about their public statements regarding Clark and the fever. But here's a plot twist that nobody's talking about. This could actually work in Sabally's favor. While some see her choice as a missed opportunity, others view it as a power move. By choosing Angel Reese, she's positioned herself as independent, unafraid to go against the grain. In a league that values authenticity, this could attract teams looking for a player who isn't afraid to stand their ground. The marketing experts are divided on this. Some argue that aligning with Clark would have been the safe bet, the guaranteed path to maximum exposure. Others suggest that crafting an alternative narrative, being the player who charts her own path, could be just as valuable in the long run. Let's look at the basketball implications, because they're fascinating. The Fever's plan to build around Clark just got more complicated. They need players who not only complement her game, but also buy into the vision. Sabally's skill set would have been perfect, a stretch forward who can create her own shot and defend multiple positions. Now they might need to pivot to other free agents. The aftermath has also sparked a larger conversation about player relationships in the WNBA. The league is small, with only 12 teams, and players often know each other from college or national team competitions. Sabally's choice has highlighted the existing relationships and loyalties that could impact free agency decisions. Social media engagement tells another interesting story. While Sabally has faced criticism from some quarters, her follower count has actually increased since the video went viral. It seems controversy, even in women's basketball, can drive engagement. But the remains, is this the kind of attention that translates to long-term career benefits? The business side of this aftermath can't be ignored. Sponsors and brands watching the WNBA are taking notes. Clark's arrival in the league isn't just about basketball. It's about marketability, about reaching new audiences. Every player's reaction to her becomes part of their brand story. Looking at the advanced analytics, the potential on-court fit between Clark and Sabally would have been incredible. Last season, Sabally shot 36% from 3 on high volume, perfect for spacing the floor around Clark's drive and kick game. Their pick-and-pop potential could have been lethal. These are the basketball realities that make the aftermath even more intriguing. The Fever front office has been strategic in their response, or lack thereof. They haven't commented publicly on the video, but their actions in the coming weeks will speak volumes. Will they still pursue Sabally? Will they look at other free agents who've been more openly enthusiastic about playing with Clark? As we wrap up this chapter of the story, it's worth noting that the aftermath is still unfolding. Free agency hasn't officially started, and a lot can change in professional sports. But one thing's certain, this moment will be remembered as a turning point in WNBA history, where a simple choice in a social media game highlighted the complex realities of modern professional basketball. The question now isn't just about Sabally's next move, it's about how this moment will impact future players' decisions in an era where every public statement, every social media post, every quick-fire choice can have lasting implications on their careers. Was this a career-changing mistake, or just a harmless game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want To stay updated on all the WNBA drama and free agency moves, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. This is just the beginning of an explosive free agency season, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the tea. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe my channel.